What's going on, YouTube? Thomas L here. With the new Possession movie, The Possession of Hannah Grace, opening Friday, I decided to do a top 10 list of my 10 favorite possessions. So, with that being said, here's my list. Coming in at number 10 is the film The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Now, this film was directed by Scott Derrickson, who, of course, went on to do Doctor Strange. This movie was completely creepy. I mean, the film stars the likes of Jennifer Carpenter. He even had Tom Wilkinson. Laura Linney was in this. Now, in this film, Tom Wilkinson plays a Rev named Rev Moore, who is prosecuted for the wrongful death of a girl who was thought to be a demon possessed, but because of the church sanction exorcism that killed her. Attorney, played by Campbell Scott, contends that the young woman, Emily, played by Jennifer Carpenter, suffered from some symptoms and should have been diagnosed. And like Laura Linney plays defense lawyer Aaron Burr, who argues that Emily's condition cannot be explained by science alone. So there's some demonic stuff that happens in this. It is really creepy. Like the demon aspect of it all was really creepy to watch. Laura Linney was pretty good. Tom Wilkinson was good. Scott Derrickson did a pretty good job at directing. I think this and Doctor Strange are probably his better films he's done. Yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't seen The Exorcism of Emily Rose yet, check it out because it's a really creepy possession film. All right. Coming in at number 9 will be Insidious. Of course, this is the I'm going with the first one where a kid pretty much gets possessed by ghosts. Insidious was directed by James Wan, who also directs the upcoming Aquaman, which comes out in December. And it also starred Lin Shaye, who gave some of the really good performances in these films. I mean, even the last one, which was The Last Key, completely stung. But Lin Shaye she probably gave the better performance in that film. Of course, the first two also had Rose Byrne and Patrick Wilson. And then, like, the third one had Dermot Mulroney. The first three I really dug. Like I said, the fourth one that was whatever. But anyway, yeah, Insidious it's really creepy. I mean, it even has a creepy character that looks like Darth Maul from Star Wars. I mean, that character will give you nightmares. And the kid was, of course, creepy in this. I mean, the Insidious movies are complete creep fest. I mean, if you guys haven't seen mainly the first Insidious, definitely give that one a go. You could definitely check out the other two as well, but the fourth one, that was whatever. Anyway, coming in at number 8 will be Paranormal Activity. Paranormal Activity it's pretty creepy. I mean, of course, it's a found footage horror film that starred Katie Featherston and Micah Sloat. And they're living in a house where there's like a supernatural presence. It's a really creepy one. I mean, the first film was directed by Oren Peli, who did a pretty good job at directing. There are some really creepy things that happen in this movie. I mean, you would not want, if you're not all that into horror, you would not want to watch this with the lights off because it is really creepy. That's when the possession kicks in. It kicks in. I mean, like Insidious, the other installment of the franchise is actually not that bad. I know lots of people don't really like all of them, but I gotta admit, I didn't mind all the Paranormal Activity films. They are really creepy. Some creepiest. This is one of the creepiest horror franchises I've ever seen, and the found footage aspect of it all really was pretty cool to watch. I mean, if you guys haven't seen any of the Paranormal Activity films yet, check them out. I mean, I believe the first Paranormal Activity, if I'm not mistaken, turns 10 next year. Wow, I feel old there. But yeah, I really simply like the Paranormal Activity films. All right, coming in at number 7 is Child's Play. Now, if you really want to consider this as a possession movie, this is technically a possession film. Because before, Chucky became who he was he was a killer named Charles Lee Ray, who then transferred his body and took possession over the dog. That's how Chucky became who he was. So, in a way, Child's Play is technically a possession film. And it's a really good one. I simply love the Child's Play movies, including Seed, Cult, and the other ones was pretty good too. I'm really big with the Chucky franchise. I mean, the door is just creepy. When I mean creepy, I mean creepy. He will. Of course, Chucky has a major foul mouth. Chucky will curse up us. I mean, I could imagine Chucky in a cursing match with Deadpool. I don't know which one will win. And Brad Dourif as the role of Chucky is just perfect casting. I mean, yeah, like I said, Child's Play to me is a possession film. And also, there's a new Child's Play coming out in June, which is actually technically not going to be much of a possession film because they're doing something different than Dar. I'm actually really curious to see what they're going to do with that Child's Play relaunch that's coming. But yeah, the first Child's Play, I have a really good place in my heart for that one, as well as the sequels that came after that. All right. Coming in at number 6 will be Jennifer's Body. Now, this film starred Megan Fox, who was dynamite in this one. I mean, she pretty much plays a cheerleader who pretty much gets possessed, and she pretty much kills and eats people. Megan Fox in this was dynamite. Yeah, again, Megan Fox is always dynamite. And also you had Amanda Seyfried. Chris Pratt was even in this. I think a lot of people forgot that Chris Pratt was in this movie. You even had Adam Brody. It was also directed by Karyn Kusama, who also has that new movie, The Destroyer, with Nicole Kidman out next month, which I'm actually curious about. Jennifer's Body. I mean, it's probably one of Megan Fox's most creepiest roles. I mean, it's a really good one, man. If you guys haven't seen Jennifer's Body yet, I highly recommend it. It's really good. And I gotta say, too bad they never done a sequel to it. I would love to have maybe seen a follow-up, but I don't really think the first film did all that well to begin with. I gotta double check. Maybe it did well, but who knows? Anyway, speaking of James Wan, coming in at number 5 is The Conjuring. Of course, it stars Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson as Lorraine and Ed Warren, who are paranormal investigators. And there is possession that happens in this. Kind of a spoiler, but Lily Taylor, who plays the mother in this, she gets possessed. And Lily Taylor was really good in this. I mean, I don't think she really gets the credit she deserved for being in this, but I really dug Lily Taylor in this film. And of course, you had speak of creepy doors, you had the doll Annabelle, who's also possessed. The Conjuring, I really simply like the Conjuring franchise. Other than The Nun, that's the only one I just thought was absolutely terrible. Other than that, I've really dug the Conjuring franchise, including the first Annabelle. I know lots of people poo-poo and trash on Annabelle. I kind of dug it. But the first Conjuring, I mean, that was a complete surprise. I just thought it was going to be a snore fest horror film, and I thought it was going to be completely boring, and it actually won me over. I simply dug the first Conjuring. And what James Wan has done with this franchise is pretty good. And I'm actually looking forward to see his Aquaman film. Of course, that's not going to have any possessions in it, but it's cool to see James Wan tackle, non-horrors and all. All right. Coming in at number 4 is Evil Dead, the creepy film that's directed by Sam Raimi, that has Bruce Campbell as Ash. And of course, the creepy book, some creepy possession stuff that happens in this. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was NC-17. If I'm not mistaken, was this or the second one that was NC-17? I gotta double check that. But the first Evil Dead it's a horror classic. There's some very gory stuff that happens. I mean, if you guys haven't seen the Evil Dead franchise yet, I don't really want to spoil much because I still don't know how many you haven't seen Evil Dead. But there's some crazy stuff that happens in these films. Then, of course, Evil Dead was followed off by Evil Dead 2. Then there was Army of Darkness. The remake was pretty good, too. And, of course, we had Ash vs. Evil Dead, which stars some reason decided to get rid of. But the first Evil Dead is where it's at. It's a horror classic. And, yeah, I mean, if you guys still haven't seen Evil Dead, what you waiting for? Definitely give it a go. All right. Coming in at number 3 is Rosemary's Baby, which was, of course, directed by Roman Polanski. Rosemary's Baby, I mean, a horror film about a woman who's pregnant with Satan's kid. Tell me that isn't creepy. And Mia Farrow played the female lead in this. This movie is a completely creep fest. Of course, the premise alone, where a woman gets pregnant with Satan's child, that alone is very creepy. But Rosemary's Baby, this is a horror classic. Roman Polanski, despite everything, like his personal life and whatever, he's actually not that bad of a director. And what he did with Rosemary's Baby, I thought was pretty good and pretty neat. I mean, if you guys still haven't had a chance to check out Rosemary's Baby yet, give it a go. I mean, the movie got released in early 70s, and I think it still holds up today. All right, coming in at number 2, from being pregnant with Satan's child to actually witnessing, the child of Satan born. Coming in at number 2 is The Omen. If you think a movie about a creepy baby inside you is creepy, just imagine a movie about a creepy kid who's already here. And the character of Damien it's one of the creepiest childs I ever want to see. This is the movie that makes a lot of parents be like, yeah, I'm not gonna adopt many kids. This movie is really creepy. There is some creepy stuff that literally happens in this film. If you've seen the movie, you know what type of creepy stuff that happens. The kid who plays Damien, he was really good in this. And you also had Gregory Peck, who was dynamite in this film. I mean, The Omen it's a horror classic. I mean, it got released in around the 60s, and it's definitely a horror film that still holds up today. Definitely check out The Omen. It's really good. And they did like a few other like sequels that came after, which wasn't as good as the first one, but they were whatever. All right. Coming in at number 1 it's pretty much a no shocker. Coming in at number 1 is The Exorcist. I mean, The Exorcist, it's really creepy. I mean, it has Linda Blair as the role of Regan. I mean, towards the beginning, you see her as just an innocent child, but then when you get into it, she pretty much becomes possessed by the devil. I mean, you're not gonna want to look at Pea Soup the same way. I mean, it's creepy. And I mean, you had Max von Sydow as the priest here. Ellen Burstyn was pretty good. Linda Blair, of course, gave a good performance. Fun fact, Jamie Lee Curtis was actually supposed to play that role, but then I don't know the whole story, but Linda Blair ends up getting the role instead. Well deserved, because Linda Blair played that role she was perfect as that role. And yeah, I mean, this movie it's really creepy. Then they did like a few sequels that came after it, which wasn't all that good. But the first Exorcist is where it's at. It's a horror classic. I mean, from what I heard, there was like this show that was on AMC called History of Horror, and they were talking about possession movies. Then I think it was Quentin Tarantino was talking about how many kids, actually went, like, not kids, but many people went to therapy because of this movie. That's how creepy this film is. I mean, lots of people went to therapy because of this film. I mean, if you guys still haven't had a chance to check out The Exorcist, what you're waiting for? It's a classic. And I really don't think you could easily touch The Exorcist, because who could touch this film? It's dynamite and it's awesome. I mean, I actually was rewatching The Exorcist again recently, and you know what? It still holds up today. It's a horror classic. And of course, it was directed by William Friedkin, who did a really good job with this. Alright, that's pretty much it for my 10 favorite possession movies. Let me do the quick rundown. Number 10, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. 9, Insidious. 8, Paranormal Activity. 7, Child's Play. 6, Jennifer's Body. 5, The Conjuring. 4, Evil Dead. 3, Rosemary's Baby. 2, The Omen. 1, The Exorcist. Now, there's a few other ones I could have added. They're all actually more worse than good, actually. I mean, definitely not Devil's Devil Inside. Definitely not that. I kind of dug the Ouija films. I know the first one, lots of people hated, but I kind of didn't mind it. I could have gone with Annabelle. Definitely not Incarnate, that's for sure. Oh, that movie really stunk. And also, I guess you could consider Get Out as a possession film. I mean, there's not like no ghosts that possess any of the characters or anything. But if you really want to look at Get Out as a possession movie, I think you could probably look at it as one. But let me leave it to you guys. What are your favorite possession movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Thomas L. signing off.